might be joining the S&P 500 after this recent earnings report. So we're going to be going over, in my opinion, all the reasons why Tesla stock should be going up. And in this video, we're going to just look past the stock price. A lot of people like to just look at how the stock has performed. They like to look at the price that it's at, and they say, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy it. It's going to keep on going up. It's going to hit 2,000. And a lot of people say that it's a bubble. It's going to burst. It's completely overvalued. So I want to go over all of that in this video, and I want to go over all my reasons why you should buy or not buy Tesla. So to break it down, I'm going to give you some of my top reasons why I think the stock is incredible. And the main thing I want to point out here in big bold letters, do not listen to analysts, financial gurus, or any other type of technical analysis. Also, don't touch options. Anybody that can tell you that they can look at this chart and tell you where the stock is going to go tomorrow or next week, it is all bull. It is not any type of information that is useful. They are strictly guessing. If I were to tell you where I think the stock price is going to go, I would be guessing as well. In this video, I don't want to be trying to guess where the stock is going to go tomorrow or any type of thing like that. I'm not predicting prices. I'm giving you the reasons of why you should consider it an investment or not. These 18 reasons, and then a lot of emotional factors and investment decisions right here at the bottom. So we'll be going over all of those. As I go over all those reasons, I will be going through the website and I will be showing you all of their vehicles, all of their main points on their investor relations and their website, and showing you why you should buy them. But overall, guys, if you're not familiar with Hood as well as some others, and this link is in the description of all of my videos. So if you're interested in signing up with M1 Finance, go ahead and sign up with this link right here, and you can get $10 just for signing up. There's also lots of other things in the description as well. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check that out. But go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and look at my number one reason. I just went ahead and went one by one. The first thing that we want to go over is earnings and how they crushed expectations. So let's look at the numbers here. Tesla just reported its second quarter results. Shares rose more than 4% after hours as the company beat expectation and reported its fourth straight quarter of profits. At one point during after hours when they reported, it was actually up, I think, cents versus a 3-cent per share earnings per share estimate. So 3 cents, basically, to give you that an equivalent. They crushed earnings. So analysts were expecting a very teeny tiny little profit, and they got $2.18 per share profit. Earnings per share is basically what that means. If you search Tesla stock here, basically what that means is for every share that's out there in the public, they made about $2.18 worth of profit. That's how you evaluate 218. Their revenue was about 0.7 billion higher than what was expected. 6.04 is what they came out with. 5.37 was what was expected, so a huge beat there. And then net income is 104 million. So I will be breaking that down further, but basically net income is what they can use to reinvest back into that business through their return earnings. But number two, Tesla is unofficially joining the S&P 500. So one of the requirements to get into the S&P is that you have to be a United States company. You have to be, obviously, the top 500 companies in the United States, and then you have to have 4 consecutive quarters of profitability. This quarter that they just hit is their 4th one in a row of profitability, so they are now eligible to be in the jet, but it is basically guaranteed that they will be hitting that as well. So the third reason is that the stock price does not legitimize current valuation. So if you see here, the stock price is at absolutely incredibly high levels. You can see all the awesome catalysts that they have from all these reasons, but I think that the stock does not price in where it's at today. I am definitely a Tesla bull, not a Tesla bear, but you can tell that the stock is obviously not being priced at its current valuation. You see stocks that have similar run-ups like this. You see like a Shopify, for example, it's being priced at years and years out worth of growth, and the same thing is happening with this wonderful stock like Tesla stock. So to compare this stock to a value proposition, this is not even remotely the case. This is definitely a hype stock, a fear of missing out, momentum, short squeeze, all that type of stuff. The fourth reason is the stock price may be a representation of what the stock could be. That basically goes hand in hand with what I just said. While I don't think that 1600 is even remotely what the stock is worth today, I think if we were to fast forward 10 years from now, this stock is worth a heck of a lot more than $1,600 a share. Maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4, 5. Who knows? They have so many positive catalysts and so much potential for their stock is that it's hard to think. They have so many awesome vehicles, and then they have an amazing CEO to take them along that way. But the fifth reason is that it's the first stock to ever have $20 billion in short interests. So a lot of people, a lot of times when they short a stock, basically what that means, when you buy a stock, you want the stock price to go up because you own the company, you own a small piece of it, and you want the value of that company to go up so you can sell it at a later price. The people who short it want it to go down. Now here's what's past 1,000. You didn't lose your $500 you invested. you lock those shares. If you're shorting it at 500 and then it shoots up to 1,000, you're forced to buy those shares at $1,000 a share, which makes the stock price go up, which made the people that short it higher than that made them buy at these prices and made them buy at these prices, and on and on and on, and a domino effect, and all along the way people are day trading it, momentum, FOMO, all that type of stuff. 2 billion logged AI miles. 2 billion miles. So 2 billion miles for a car company is already a lot for a company that is new and as small as Tesla in, but all this is logged for their AI system, and they can continue to learn from this. They keep on getting their AI better and better for their autonomous driving and potentially their autonomous taxi network. So that's just one thing that is a little bit out there in the future, but it is something to think about. So next we have number 7, competitors are being left in the dust. So just in general, with electric cars, we're not going to name off any names, but just in general, a lot of your bigger names out there, a lot of your major car companies are not taking electric cars nearly as serious as Tesla is. And it hasn't really become a priority until the last year or so, and that's mostly because Tesla is making such big headwinds. If it wasn't amazing, incredible strides in the industry, most people wouldn't even give them a second glance. So it's really interesting to see how long that these other car companies are going to be playing catch up and how many years that might take. By then, Tesla might already be the dominant player and better, and their vehicles are getting more and more efficient, more and more high tech. So along with that, one of the biggest things with electric vehicles is that a lot of people don't want to buy electric vehicles because they think that batteries are going to restrict them. They might have a 200-mile range or a 300-mile range, and you might get stuck with charging stations, which Tesla has by far the most amount of charging stations of any other electric car company. But battery restrictions are becoming less of a factor if they get way, way longer ranges than what they used to. Number 9, we have Tesla Semi-Truck, Roadster, Cybertruck, etc. So I'll go ahead and start showing these now. And like the one that I started off with the video, the Roadster seems incredible. Not to mention it just looks awesome. But with those 3 cars, those are 3 future potential cars that will be coming up within now and the next year, 2 years, something like that. But there are other vehicles in the works that we don't know about. So the same thing with Apple. When they came out with the iPhone, you couldn't have known that they were going to come out with AirPods. You couldn't have known that they were going to come out with Apple Music, with the App Store, with all different types of stuff like that. There's so many different factors that go into the future with the management team that they have working in the future that they haven't told us about yet. So these 3 vehicles are 3 that people are very excited about: Cybertruck, Roadster, and the semi-truck. But this doesn't even count the future vehicles that we don't even know about yet. And that Roadster looks awesome. Number 10, CEO is incredibly intelligent and successful. I won't go over too much with Elon Musk, but the guy created PayPal. He has the Boring Company. He has SpaceX. He has Tesla. And one piece of information I did want to mention here, which I thought was incredibly hilarious, is that when he got fined $20 million from his tweet, if you don't know about that, go look that up. But in 2018, he got fined $20 million for the tweet that he posted by the SEC. $10 million went to him, $10 million went to Tesla. So what he did was he indirectly paid for the SEC fine by investing $10 million of his own money into Tesla. Now the funny part is those shares that he bought today are now worth about 97 or about 100 million. So he ended up making a massive profit from his fine. So basically there was almost no punishment at all. I just thought that was just a funny piece of information to go over. Number 11, profits/retained earnings will become funneling even more growth. You know how I said that they had $104 million worth of net income? Well, the same thing goes for all of their future years. As they are now a profitable company, their profits are obviously and more future growth. So that is just another positive catalyst for Tesla, as they are now a profitable company. A lot of times with really high growth companies, they usually have to go more and more and more into debt and have to keep on funneling bonds or issue more stock. And this is not something that Tesla is having to do because they are now a profitable company. Next up, we have number 12, not if, but when all cars become electric. Fossil fuels. They're called fossil fuels. Eventually, we are going to run out of oil and drilling all different types of nasty crude oil. It's bad for the environment. Those companies are slowly dying. But when it happens, might be next year, all or 90% of cars will be at least a hybrid for electric or fully electric. Now, forget Tesla for a moment. Even if you hate Tesla, you don't believe in Tesla one bit, if you hate the company, you still have to see the obvious fact. This is not something to hide from. This is something that you have to see that is a realistic scenario, and it will happen inevitably. So Tesla is obviously becoming the front runner for that. Next up, we have FOMO, momentum, short squeeze/hype. So a lot of what's going on right now with the price movement is primarily focused around those 4 things I just mentioned. FOMO, or fear of missing out, momentum, short squeeze, and hype. So basically, let's go over the four. Fear of missing out. People see that the stock went up to 1,600 and they say, oh my gosh, I was interested at 1,000. I better buy it now before it's too late. So they buy it at 1,600 and they're buying it at an incredibly rich valuation. Momentum. As the stock goes up more and more and more, a lot of people are looking to buy the stock and sell it 5 minutes later, an hour later, a day later, trying to make a quick day trade, a short-term profit. Next up, we have short squeeze. I went over that. They have $20 billion worth of short interest. So when it gets short squeezed, it makes the stock go even higher. And then once again, just the hype. In general, with a lot of stocks that move up high. So like, for example, one of the stocks that I own that is doing incredibly well today from a huge earnings beat, they're up about 7.5%. Whirlpool, that's an old, boring company. While it's up a ton, people are not going to really be day trading that stock because people are not really excited about the future potential for Whirlpool, but they pay an incredible dividend. But with Tesla, people are incredibly hyped up about Tesla, so excited for the future, and it's just a fun stock to talk about, which is the main reason why I'm making a YouTube video about it. It's just in general a fun stock to talk about, and all different types of awesome news are constantly coming. Games and subscriptions inside the car tablet. So with the tablet that you see inside of the car for the newer vehicles that they have, those tablets can provide a little bit of revenue, not a lot, but it can probably provide a little bit of revenue for their cars as they move forward. So those little tablets that are inside, they've talked about adding little games where you can purchase games and they get a share of the revenue, maybe even TV services Elon has talked about, or other types of monthly subscription service, maybe where they pay $5 a month or $10 a month to get extra features inside of their car. So who knows if that'll become a reality, but that's just one more possible potential factor that'll boost them in the future. Next up, we have number 15. This is more of a long-term outlook. This is not something that's going to happen this year or next year, but maybe in the next 5 years, we'll see a huge potential for the autonomous taxi network. So there's been hints about partnerships with Uber and other different types of autonomous taxi networks. But basically what they're going to do is have your car make money for you. You pull out your app, you press a button that tells your car, okay, I'm going to be at work today from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Go make me money. And your car will drive around the city and basically be an Uber for people and will drive around and give people rides. That's essentially what you're looking at with an autonomous taxi network. It will do all the driving for you and will while you're doing stuff at work or you're asleep or whatever. Next up, we have number 16. New gigafactories are being built every year. Austin, Texas was announced yesterday. So I'm filming this, and the day before this was recorded, they just announced that they're opening a new gigafactory in Austin, Texas. That's in my neighboring state. Those of you that are curious, I am inside of Oklahoma. So Austin, Texas is pretty close to me, and they're going to build a gigafactory there. So the thing is, it doesn't matter where they build these gigafactories. They can build them in Austin, Texas. They can build them in New York. They can build them in Europe, Africa. It doesn't matter where they build them. It's the fact that they're coming out with more and more factories. So shipping costs go down. The margins on their vehicles go up incredibly. So it is much cheaper for them to make those cars through their gigafactories than through a third party or from a different source. Number 17, we have solar power / home clean energy systems. One of the things that I just started showing recently, home clean energy systems in which they can provide solar panels on top of their roofs to not only power their vehicles, but to where they can also power their entire home to where they are clean energy. When the power goes out, you got electricity. You save a ton on electricity bills, and whether or not I get a Tesla in the future, I tell you one thing, I will probably end up getting those solar panels one day way out in the future as they get more and more mainstream. I think that this is a huge potential for Tesla, and CEO Elon Musk himself even than their cars. Think about what I just said for a second. A lot of people love to talk about the cars for Tesla. The solar panels, in Elon Musk's opinion, the CEO, thinks that the solar panels will be a bigger opportunity than their vehicles. You see this right here? This is what he wants pretty much everyone's home to look like in the future. And then number 18, we have no dealership / no car lots, but you sign some paperwork and then you buy a car. Not the case with Tesla. You go onto their website, you customize the car that you want, specifically the color, the interior, the wheels, all different types of stuff like that, and then you have it delivered directly to your house. There's no dealership, there's no salesman, so not only does that save them a lot of money, they also have a lot less liability, and it's a lot more newer way of selling vehicles, and I think that's just another positive catalyst for them. So should you buy Tesla stock at these prices? So we've seen that Tesla stock is over $1,600 a share. I know at its peak just the other day, I believe it was $1,700 and something. But anyways, regardless of what the price is at, when I'm talking about buying at these prices, I'm talking about well over $1,000, over $1,200 a share, over $1,400, anything like that. Should you buy at these prices? Now, first of all, like I said, I want to mention Do not listen to any technical analysis crap. It is not about where the stock might go tomorrow, where it might go next week. Not only are they going to be wrong, but it's not what you should be focusing on anyway. Well, the answer to my question is, should you buy Tesla stock at these prices? If you're a long-term shareholder, prices should be mostly irrelevant. If you're a believer in the company, you shouldn't care if Tesla is $300 a share, $1,000 a share, 5,000 a share. If you think that the stock is going to go up in the long term because you're a believer in the company, those reasons that I just named off, what was it, 18 reasons? If you're a believer in most of these 18 reasons, or even more than what I mentioned, you should focus on the long term and the potential for this company. Amazon didn't go up in 1 year and then just stop. It goes up consistently because they're continually revenating their business model, and you can see how it's a straight line up. It might trade flat for a year or two, but in the long run, it's going to go up because they are renovating their technology. The same thing with Tesla. Don't focus on the short term. If you're a long-term believer in the company, buy it regardless of the price, regardless of what price I'm buying at or anyone else. Which goes hand in hand with number 2. Do not buy or sell based off the price. This is basically talking about your emotions. If you buy at 1,600 and it goes down to 1,000, the last thing you should do is sell. So the same thing here when we look at the year chart. When Tesla went up to 900 and something dollars a share, almost 1,000, and then it dropped to 300, would you sell? Well, you're down 60% on your money. Would you still sell? That's the main question that you should be asking yourself, because if the answer is yes, if you're going to sell if the stock's going to go down 50%, which it very well could happen, then you should not be owning this company. If you're worried about your emotions, take your emotions out of it. If unsure, do not buy. The same thing goes hand in hand with what I just said. If you're not confident in the company, if you can see your money go down 70% and you're still a believer in the company, absolutely buy it at any price that you see fit. But if you're unsure at these prices, saying, oh, I'm worried it could go back down below 1,000, then it is best to stay out of the stock for now, or maybe for good. Only buy if you're a full believer in the company. It goes hand in hand with what I just said. Only buy if you believe in Elon. Only buy if you believe in Tesla, their solar panels, their future vehicles, all that stuff that we just talked about. Those holding / waiting on the sidelines, a better opportunity could be ahead. Now, like I said, the one thing I didn't want to try to do in this video is talk about stock price. I don't want to talk about the stock price where I think it's going to be going, because I don't know, you don't know, and your neighbor doesn't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen to the stock price. But that said, just generally speaking, when you see a stock that has this much of a run-up, more than likely what comes up must come down. So if I were to guess, sometime in the near future, between now and the next couple of months, there's probably going to be a better buying opportunity. Who knows? Tesla is an incredible company. They could continue to go up. They could break past 2,000. There's no way of knowing. That said, I've been in the stock market for years. I've seen this. I just made a video about that I absolutely love. Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat went up to about $250 a share. Then, after that, they went down to $70 a share. Now, they have a long-term potential. They have higher growth than that of Tesla, by the way, in case you didn't know. But I think for the long term for Tesla, they will go up, but in the short term, anything's possible. So if you're unsure and you're wanting to find a better price and you understand, and I am on the sidelines with Tesla for now, just kind of seeing what happens. And then last but not least, take all emotions out of your investment decisions. This doesn't matter if we're talking about Tesla, Coca-Cola stock, Whirlpool stock like we showed, Microsoft, any of the stocks that we just mentioned, or any ETFs that you might be buying. Take any and all emotions out of your decisions. If you're going to make a rash decision, whether that be buying or selling, don't even touch it. Don't worry about it. Tesla's not worth it. Any investment's not worth it if you're going to make a decision based off your emotions, off of excitement, off of greed, off of fear, anything that you. And thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. If you've made it this far, you 18 people that have signed up, thank you guys so much. I do appreciate you guys subscribing to me. We now have 1,100 subscribers, and I am monetized with those ads, so thank you guys so much if you've made it all the way to the end. My portfolio is doing very good, and we did just break 2,900. And like I said, starting at the beginning of August, I am only investing about $25 a week. We'll be bumping that up to $100 a week, so a significant increase, and this portfolio is about to start taking off. Let me tell you, those of you that keep up with me, my portfolio is about to become a massive catalyst for not only my income but my savings as well. So keep tuned in and join my investing journey if you're interested in that, and leave a comment down below what you think about Tesla, what you think about my investing strategy, or just any questions you might have about me as a personal inquiry in general. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.